Hey guys, my guest today is James ONeill. He's the co-founder and CEO of a company called WIldJar. It's his first startup. They're bootstrapped, launched in 2016, and he did this all after being born in New Zealand, grew up in Australia, now building this company from Scotland. James, ready to take us to the top?
Sounds good. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.
All right, so what is WIldJar? What do you guys do, and are you a SaaS business?
Yeah, so we're SaaS. We're a call tracking and analytics platform. So we help businesses and marketers optimize and drive revenue from their inbound phone calls.
And give me a sense of, how you fit in this space. Oh, it's a very crowded space. There's a lot of VC-backed companies spending way too much money in this space. What niche have you carved out for yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so we, myself and the co-founder, so we came from a similar space, and I'm from an agency background as well. And we really looked at the market in terms of what we needed to do, and we saw that a lot of them were doing the self-serve, low cost, high volume, and then there was sort of that enterprise model as well. So where we fit is sort of right in the middle of it all, where our model is more from an onboarding perspective. It is a full self-serve, but we work with them in the first 3 months to get to a point where they can self-serve and move forward. But we found it just fits really nicely in terms of our model.
So what are customers paying on average per month to use the technology?
So last month it was 970.
Okay, so not small business, not enterprise, sort of somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Really interesting. Okay, and then the backstory, you launched this in 2016. How'd you guys fund the MVP?
So bootstrapped it. So myself and a founder, we were at another business, and we actually had this model within. It was sort of a traditional telco, and we wanted to take it to the business, and it didn't work out. I was head of product strategy. My founder was head of technology. So I left, went back to agency world. My family has an agency, and I was working in that and really wanted to obviously focus on the call side, is what we were good at. So plugged it in there, did a bit of an MVP, reached out to my co-founder and said, look, I think we need to spin off a new business. He's from Italy. He flew back to Italy and had 3 months at his family, and then we just sort of went from there.
Are you a developer? How'd you write the code for the MVP?
Yeah, so it was really simple. It was purely using other platforms. So use like a Twilio startup to start on that. Use the scripting, so using like Optimizely for like split testing to just show landing page from Google Ads, because it was really just to start from that. And then just sort of use a proof of concept from the agency that I was in. Went to another agency that we liked as well. They liked the look of it, but obviously, I'm not a developer, so had to get somebody to come in and do it properly.
So your first two customers were your family agency and then another agency you sold to?
Exactly, yeah.
Interesting. And give me the sales pitch. When you sold the second company, not your family's company, but the second company, what was the pitch to them?
Yeah, so they were actually, so we ran their search. So they were outsourcing their search, the Google Ad spend to our agency. So it was kind of already half built into it, but it was two complete separate businesses.
I see. And do you remember that first year of business back in 2016? Do you remember how much revenue you did?
Yeah, we did about 170,000.
170. Okay, so that's not bad for your first year in business. That's pretty good.
Yeah, we got to 30 really quickly. So yeah.
30 what?
Monthly, 30 monthly.
Oh, 30,000 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. When did you hit that? 30 at the end of 2016, you were 30 grand a month?
Yeah, towards the end of 16, which we weren't expecting. So we thought it'd be a bit more slow, but just with, look, my co-founder is amazing developer, and he's rewritten lots of voice platforms before, so we could get a really good product to market. So that was good.
Did you guys just decide to split equity 50-50?
No, so it's a third. So the other, so my agency, my family agency, we thought we would need sort of some sort of equity put into it there, but we actually didn't. So it's really just my dad sitting there along for a ride.
So it's your dad with 33, you with 33, and your CTO co-founder with 33.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Very cool. And how many total people on the team today?
Five
Okay.
full-time and one like part-time accountant, like 1 day a week. Yeah.
And how many engineers besides your co-founder?
Just one, just him.
So it really is just him. Wow, that's impressive. So how many customers is this code now supporting?
So we got 172 customers of last month.
Wow, so he can support all those same code base, 172 customers. That's impressive.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Wow. Okay, so 172 customers, and you've done all this bootstrapped, right?
Yep.
970 ARPU. That's about $160,000 in MRR today, then, huh?
Yes. The last month we did 167.
167. Yeah, that's great growth. Where were you exactly a year ago? Do you remember?
We were a 130s.
130. Where's the growth coming from? How are you signing folks up?
So for us, it was all organic, and we were in a space where we knew the industry as well, so we knew a lot of agencies. I've got a lot of agency contacts. Where we started the Australian market, it was there was a few sort of legacy platforms that had been there for a while, and they weren't scaling very well. So we wanted to build a platform that would scale quickly, and so that's what we did. It was all organic, all word of mouth, and I guess I'm not going to say, but a lot of agency people moving around as well. So they'll take the platform and turn us on there. So.
Mm-hmm. Do you have? I mean, so you've done this bootstrapped. When you say like organic growth, when I hear organic growth, sometimes I go, oh well, they're just not sure how they're growing, which is maybe a bad thing because then you don't know how to do more of it, right? So what is I think you probably actually know how you're growing. How are you actually growing?
Yeah, well, it's interesting that you say that. So during COVID, we thought let's invest in our brand. So previously, what we've done, it's a little bit different, is that we're a 100% white label platform. So we found channel partners, and the channel partners essentially they grew our business. So we went to a complete white label. So our brand WIldJar was completely out of it. And then as things happen, we picked our first enterprise, like proper enterprise client around that 15 month. And then brand starts to become a little bit important. And sort of during COVID, we just thought, look, we need to start marketing ourselves a little bit. And sort of from July till now, we've done some ad spend, we've done some video testimonials, video case studies, building a little bit. And we would have brought on, out of that 172, I said we brought on about 30 new logos in that time period. So
that's great growth. So, I mean, what can you spend on ads to get a new $1,000 a month customer?
So I don't have last month's spend, but the month before we spent like $900 on Google Ads. It was about sort of $500 on Facebook and about the same on LinkedIn. So it was really low.
So finish the story. So how many customers did you get from the $900 of spend?
Yeah, so we signed up 5.
Okay.
So 12 leads, signed up 5. It was about $170 cost per acquisition.
Yeah. I mean, that works, right? So now the question is, how much can you put in those channels and hold those economics?
Yeah, exactly. And this is what, it's been interesting. I mean, obviously been watching your show the last few weeks and really, it's been really interesting. So I had no idea about the sort of community space. So I was going through it all, and I'm glad we tested it, but really doing our numbers is something that we've only really started to do recently. So,
most of the 172 customers and the first 2 come from your agency partners. Are they mostly agencies today? Like, describe the majority of your customers. What are they?
Yeah, agency partners, majority, definitely.
Interesting. So an agency partner like your family agency would pay for a white label license to your platform and then resell it to their end customers?
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, I see. And then you get a cut, and that cut equates to about $970 a month per agency.
Yeah, so we would essentially, so we've built it into the platform where, 100% white label, so they would reskin it, take it to their clients, put a markup model within it if they want to. So the rate that would give them, is a healthy rate that they can go and resell and put 50% margin on, or whatever that number looks like, or bundle it into their product offering. So.
And how? I mean, I guess they're paying you your full rate. They're making margin based on what they upsell it at. I mean, do you ever wonder, wow, we should just go direct to customer and make the full margin ourselves?
Yeah, we built it so that we didn't have to. And I guess that's why we're able to scale the way we did. So, if we did, then it's more people. And, we're working with, these key partners. It is interesting, though, because, we are looking at, what this point in time, what we're doing right now. But what we've found has worked for us, especially over the last few months, is it just new product, new features. We're calling them power-ups, essentially, but rolling them back into these clients, and they're loving it. So for them, it's the we know where we sit in a conversion. I mean, the agencies, especially during COVID, we've found have been sort of a trusted advisor as people have been digitizing their businesses as well. So we're with them. We're in a point of a conversion. We're a technology piece into their stack, and we plug into HubSpot or Salesforce or whatever they're using to work with the end clients. So,
what does your gross revenue churn look like annually?
I don't really know, but in terms of a logo, all we've worked out is on the 172 we have now clients, we had a total of 208 with us. So we've lost, I think it's around like 36 odd clients total. So over 4.5 years, we're looking at 3.5% sort of logo. We haven't looked at revenue, but what's interesting from those ones that have come off is that when we went through this period of like it was just myself and a co-founder, we were doing 70,000, and we were sitting there going, do we just keep doing what we're doing now, or do we sort of go and grow a little bit more? And I went to an agency who was another one who I knew really well, and they said, look, we would love to work with you, but you're only 2 people, so we don't really want to. It's a bit of a risk for us. So we hired somebody. He came in, but attracted the wrong end client for us. So a lot of those logos that we've lost are actually through the acquisition of, this really small self-serve, self-onboard. And what we've found is we don't work well in that space. I mean, they can come on and work with us, but where we work well is as a expert or trusted advisor to the agency partners. So, but we definitely need to do better in terms of working out that the revenue churn. But I mean, everything our clients start. Like the first month it might be $100, then the second month $300, then it might be $1,000, then up to $2,000. So
have you quantified what if your gross churn annually is about 4%? Have you calculated what your expansion revenue is annually?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. And when you are upselling clients from 100 to 1,000, like you just said, what are you typically upselling? Is it number of seats or feature-based upselling or something else?
It's all volume. So we're essentially a volume-based business. So we have
volume of what?
Minutes, so number, rental, and call minutes. So if an agency comes on, what we found is when we give them a full self-serve onboarding themselves, they'd come on, use us, but they don't use the full platform. They don't use they don't plug it into all of their clients. Whereas when we onboard, we give them sort of that 1, 2, 3 months of, look, we need to set up clients to go through, because the more clients they bring on, then the more numbers they're using in terms of to advertise with. And then the more call minutes is what we're charging. So the more calls their clients are receiving is the more that we make them. So
that's a great utility metric to upsell against. I bet if you measured your expansion revenue, it would be very healthy.
Yeah, no, I'd love to do that.
All right, man. Very cool stuff. All right, let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, favorite business book.
I'm not a big reader. I like small sharp snippets, but I have read the Simon Sinek Start With Why, and that was good. So
number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
In Scotland here, there's a guy called James Watt. Is from a company called Brewdog. It's a beer brewery. I think what they're doing is amazing in this space, and it's really interesting what they're doing, and also any Australian business or New Zealand business like Xero or Afterpay. Those guys are good.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building your company?
We use Slack. Literally everything's built in Slack for us. So.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
About 6.
6. And what's your situation? Married, single, kiddos?
Married, 2 kids.
Busy guy. How old are you?
35.
Last question. What do you wish you knew when you were 20?
Probably to network more, maybe. So yeah, be happy to network. I think I stepped back a little bit, and I love it now. So yeah, just go out there and do more.
Guys, WIldJar playing in the call tracking space. They've got 172 agency customers who resell their product to end users. Each of those agencies pay on average $1,000 per month. They just did $167,000 in revenue last month, so over a $2 million run rate. That's up from $130,000 a month just a year ago. So healthy growth. They're doing all this with just 5 people, launched in 2016 and bootstrapped, which we love. MVP was all sweat equity with his CTO co-founder that wrote the original lines of code and is still doing all the coding today. James, thanks for taking us to the top.
Perfect. Thanks, Nathan.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, three hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.